All right, when you come into class, you're gonna get your materials so that you're able to work outside of class to take home with you. So we're gonna get Magic Sculpt resin, Magic Sculpt hardener. So just make sure you mark your container. I'm just gonna go Magic Sculpt resin and Magic Sculpt hardener. And then you want to make sure you get the epoxy. It says part A and part B on top. You have a tool to get it out for each one. So we'll go Apox B for that one, and we'll do Apox A. If you want to, you could put your initials on these too, just because there's going to be a lot of these floating around. So I'll just go CLP for my initials, Christian Platz. It's probably helpful. Oops. And liquid latex. So this one, make sure you fill it up a good 3/4 full. So say right about there. And liquid latex. And this is the one that you want to be careful transporting home. So if you have a better container, like a stronger little empty yogurt container, or butter tub or something like that, maybe bring that with you next class and make sure you get enough of this, because we're still going to eyeball see how much of the latex actually dabs out of this stuff. So I'll do this one first. Make sure we get over here. So I'm going to give this a little shake. And then as you pour, just make sure this one in particular, oh, we have one that's already open. Over there. This one in particular, make sure you got your paper towels handy just in case. Thank you. So even, this is not my drawings, whatnot, so maybe lay down a little paper towel. And it does peel off of the cutting mat really well, but we want to keep the cutting mats as clean. These are really nice cutting mats. They're still in new condition. So pour this one out. A little globby. You can give it a little squeeze and then give it a little spin as you pull up. The bartenders pour. And then if you need to, we can keep the edges kind of clean, so you can kind of wipe that off if you think there's a big glob of it that might get all over the place. Back on. We're working outdoors today. Watch a little bit of the wind. So there's our liquid latex. There we go. We'll go in here and get the Magic Sculpt. So we have a little tool. You can also just use your fingers if you want. Oh yeah, it's kind of nice and gooey. I haven't used this color before. This is neat. This is supposed to be like a tan, like a different kind of skin tone, I think. So make sure I don't mess this up, right? So don't get two of the same on accident. Or if you watch the other videos, you'll see where the white Magic Sculpt is hard to tell when it's mixed or not mixed, and same thing with the clear. So just take your time with this. So there's one. Got the resin. Make sure you don't get any little extra goobers anywhere. And then same thing with the tools. You know, if there's any obvious stuff that's going to get all over the place, make sure you wipe it off a little bit. Leave the tool that goes with each container really clear for everyone to see. So this is the Magic Sculpt hardener. And I use this stuff a bit, so I'm just going to, I know this stuff's extra. Stick it. I'm just gonna grab it with my hands. My gloves on, of course, right? Oops. There we go. And get a healthy amount. You know, you want to build up on top here. The steel stick's the strongest, but you can't really sculpt with it, and it has a really quick set time. So this is, we're kind of exposing you to 3 different kind of time lapse and sculptural ability with these things. And you want to make sure the parts are equal too. So if you packed a little tighter with one, make sure you pack the other side tight, so you're doing mostly equal parts when you go to merge them together. If one part's a little unequal, just make sure you kind of split the difference as you build up your skeleton forms. So we'll do the, get these kind of out of the way as we're going here. Get the epoxy. Part B here handy. Let's see, I haven't used this stuff in years and kind of looking for it. This is the more fancier sculptural stuff. So this is a 1 to 3 hour set time. If you, yeah, that's gonna be pain in the bootish. Maybe use the metal ones on that one, but yeah, but this stuff here, you can really do detail. You can do super fine detail sculpting with the epoxy. And we'll see how this lasts through the class. There we go. There should be enough for everyone to do one good sculpt And you may not need as much of the epoxy as you do the steel or the Magic Sculpt, because this is going to be used for the face. So for this one, maybe don't need to go quite as full on the tub. Maybe go just over half. I think would be a good marker on that one. So, and if you want to mark this for yourself, you could go, this is 1 to 3 hours work time for the epoxy, right? For the Magic Sculpt, you want to maybe do, this one's 45 minutes to 1 hour, right? Just to kind of remind yourself when you sit down which one's which and which one's, because yeah, you're on the clock when you're using this stuff, but that's actually a good thing, because then you get a little bit of a contractor's hustle, so to speak, kind of move at a different rate of speed when you know that the timer's on. So keep the stick with that one. I suppose I could write on the sticks which one goes with which also. Go with the part A. So yeah, you can see this is, I forget which one's the hardener, which one's the resin. Yeah, this one's a little more crumbly. It's usually the actual stuff is softer, and then the hardener is the one that's a little stiffer. So that one came out nice, almost like cookie dough. So there you go, a little more than half. Should be good to go. Okay, and then the next step you're going to do is make sure you get yourself some foam. So I'm going to take these gloves off for a moment. Go ahead and keep it rolling. And we're going to go over, get your foam and get your athletic wrap. So you're going to make sure you got a pair of scissors that cuts well, and you want to make sure, based on your layout, size of your paper doll, so to speak, you want to get like a good size piece about that big. And remember, you're cutting out limbs, the legs and the arms, so I'd say a piece about that big should be plenty for this particular character. If you did find some barber scissors, they're a dream. These are my favorite new tool. They just cut like butter through everything, and I haven't used them on anything else, so they're not all ruined yet. But that should be about enough for one character. And then get your athletic wrap, and this one we have to gauge during class still, so we have enough. They're super inexpensive though, so if we need to get more, we can. And maybe if any of you are athletes, maybe you have some of this laying around. So of one solid roll, I don't know, let's see, I'm gonna go around my fingers here. I don't know how many rotations that is. Maybe like 15 to 20 rotations. Get a little spool of it, and there's still a good chunk left over, and then cut that. There we go. So athletic wrap, get your foam, and let's go ahead back over to the main table for a moment. So here is your kit. You should be comfortable taking with you. You should have a little piece to sponge the liquid latex with. You should have a full cut of the upholstery foam. You should have your athletic wrap. And you should have, if you want to bring some cotton balls home with you, this should be your kit. So Magic Sculpt, hardener and resin. 1 full cup of liquid latex. Remember, you can tint that with your acrylic or watercolor paint. I think acrylic might be a little bit better than the watercolors on there, but don't quote me on that. Here's your Apoxy Sculpt. And then in class, we should be able to use our barges and our 3M, but if you want to get some of your own, this is it's called Barge All-Purpose Cement. So you can kind of order, I think one of these was $6. You can get the smaller Elmer size. A big one of this, one of these costs maybe a few bucks, maybe $10 or $15, but you can get the smaller Elmer's cans for $7 or $8. And they're actually quite useful for multiple uses, so they're not a bad investment to have. And then the foam ball, everybody should have a foam ball for the heads. I just had a stack of them out. There's the foam ball, there we go. So hopefully everyone's got a foam ball for the skull. You could build the head up completely out of the Magic Sculpt, but it makes it heavier and it is a little bit more costly. So I think cutting this is surprisingly strong and lightweight. So we cut this in half with the razor knife, so you should have one of those. And then we do have enough armature wire. So if you do need extra armature wire, don't be shy. We want to make sure that if your arm's messed up or leg, or if you've only done one sculpture so far and you're hesitant, you can still get enough armature wire for building up your puppet. And we brought in some extra steel stick as well. Last thing I'll mention is the moldable plastic. So I'm going to bring in the crock pot on Thursday, and you'll be able to shape any little claws, teeth, fangs, spines, things like that with moldable plastic. So we should have enough of that as well, and we'll make a little container for that as well. So if we'll just go in here, because you can just microwave a little teacup and dip the thermoplastic in there, and it's really super fun to make stuff with. So I'm just pour some little pellets in there for you. That should be enough, so you just need a little bit. So I'd say, what is that, about like 1/8 of a container full of the pellets. And I'm just gonna mark this as well. This one we will mark thermoplastic. Thermoplastic. All right, and there's your little kit. We'll have even more fun stuff for you guys next week.